Greetings, Gemini. Thank you for joining me. This is your reading leading up to this wonderful new moon in Aries on the 11th. So we're doing a shortened Celtic cross today. We'll go back through, clarify, pull a journey map card from my own deck, a fairy oracle card, and a little star card of mine also. We're doing a shortened Celtic cross today, and we'll look at the central point and then talk about that briefly and then just go through the rest of the reading. So I hope this finds you well. Thank you so much for joining me too. I do appreciate it. All your support. Now, let's get a central point for beautiful Geminis. Air babies. I always think of trapeze artists with Gemini. Now, cards have been a bit stubborn. Just a couple of cards for Gemini, please, today. Wow. A couple more, please, today. Better today. Don't want to wait till tomorrow, do we? Now. Okay, so we've got those three. We'll just have a quick chatterama about this. Okay. All right, we start out, and don't be alarmed, of course. This is just a very general reading for Gemini's air signs out there. Are upside down. We get the Devil card. In the Thoth deck, we see in its absolute highest polarity, this card is about grasping life, about appreciating every aspect of life in its physical, material form. I think Gemini's had this the last reading, but I'm not sure. So it's about grasping it and enjoying it and living fully the way that you want to live. On the lower aspect, of course, the lower aspect is about, bondage. We see these little thought forms, torment, mental torment, bondage in any form, whether it's been feeling like you're stuck in a job that is not doing you any favours, is not really where you want to be, whatever it happens to be in a relationship, that kind of thing. We see the Devil card in this aspect. I do feel like it's some situation that's possibly making you feel restricted in some way. We have the beautiful, I love this card, the Princess of Wands. She's really breaking free. This is why I think it is something to do with the lower polarity of the Devil card, because she's really breaking. It's like a purification through fire. We have a kind of altar setting here which has roses, and they're just basically spontaneously combusting. It's such an amazingly vital, impassioned card, and she is fully launching herself into full expression. I mean, this is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It feels pretty wild to me. So look, maybe Gems, we're overcoming a few hurdles here. We're making headway where we possibly haven't for quite a while. The basis of this is the Prince of Discs, who's bound to it. He is bound by Saturnian rules, and by that I mean, the heavy nature of seeing things working at things in the material world. You know, we work away, we chip away, and of course we need to. There's a limitation here though, because the princess is just wanting to break free. There's a breaking free, and whether that's breaking free of certain bondage, limiting aspects of the mind, or whether it is in this material world, there is a heaviness about the Prince of Discs. Even though it's reliable and solid, it requires us not to be flying off into the ethers, but to be very much a solid, earthly, Saturnian creatures. So it's kind of interesting, spending a bit too long at the central point, but this is the basis of it. It's sort of been weighted down a little bit by the limitations of time as we know it in this material world. Limitations of time, or limitations of the time it takes us to really overcome some hurdles, to break free of things that we want or need to break free of. What's behind Geminis at this current time? So we have the Two of Discs, another disc card, of course, another card of earthly material matters. It is, as all twos are, a choice card. It's a realization that, you know, for example, like we can juggle, we can keep this sort of momentum. We can keep balance in times of momentum also, in times of movement. And we can do that. We can do it for a period of time. But because it's a two, at some point, we have to make a decision. You know, we have to make a decision. Now we get, in your current position, dear Geminis, remember these are incredibly general readings. So we see this glorious princess, you know, really wanting to break free of a few things. Maybe we've got some unfinished business. Maybe we've just got a few little things to sort out before we can fully release, fully go for what our passions are. In the current position, we get the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is about standing up for your own personal truth, your own personal integrity. We see this central wand being somehow, what's the word? Somehow limited. You know, there's limitations here, but we are, this sort of spirit is being dampened in this, and we feel, it's not defensive, but we do feel that we need to stand up for our principles. So maybe some situation or scenario here we've been pushed a little bit, or we realise we can't be juggling this, like we can't be doing this Two of Discs things forever. We need to make a decision, Gems. So let's see, moving forward. It's the term of the day, isn't it? Moving forward. Geminis, please. There's a few too many cards there. Moving forward for Geminis in this time. You know, it's good to be standing up. Wow, it's good to be standing up for your internal truth. What is your truth? It's not everyone else's truth, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. We're all on different routes here. Moving forward and moving through, we see the portal of the universe. We see the world. We see everything coming to an end, and therefore a new beginning. We're entering, this is a new portal. When I say everything coming to an end, yeah, it's the end of a cycle. of time, that's for sure, but it's the end of, it does appear to be the end of any balancing act, Stacey's. This is all about new beginnings. I mean, I always talk about new beginnings because everything's about beginnings, endings, beginnings, process, endings. It is all about evolution. So let's just go through. We'll clarify these, Gemini. We'll have a look. We don't need to look back. I don't believe that. I don't believe we do, not all the time. Let's have a look at the Seven of Wands here for lovely Geminis. Lovely Gemini. Pardon me. Excuse me. Yeah, look, this is about understanding our... we get the Prince of Swords here. Some people would say this is about being viewed, being spied upon. I think that's pretty basic way of looking at the Prince of Swords. It is about negotiating power and how we do that personally. What are we compromising? We learn it. This is what we learn when we embody. And remember, this is an adolescent card, this Prince. But he is figuring out the way that power works. And that's not a bad thing. Or she. And so we're standing there, we're defending our principles. We have one sword. We're interested to know. We're drawing lines in the sand. I just keep getting this thing of clearing unfinished business. And it is because we are entering into a new cycle here. And there has been a slowness up until this point, but I think things are starting to really heat up. So let's have a look at the universe for you, gems. What's the universe speaking of? We know it's speaking of a new cycle, and we're entering that gorgeous blue, aqua blue portal. Aerial artiste. I can see the androgyne androgynine figure there. Just about to leap through the other side. Beautiful gems. Can we have one card to clarify? To peel the layer back a little bit for the universe, please. For lovely gems. What is a new cycle? What is a new cycle? Just one card, please. Yes, it is. New cycle. What's happening? I've got cards everywhere. Wow. Better put, it's too many came out, but this one came out face up. We get the beautiful 10 of discs. Look, this is going to make things, to me, it feels like this is going to make things so much like 150% better once we understand, once we draw our lines in the sand, once we cut the ties that have bound us within these thought forms. We surge forth like the Princess of Wands in her fiery purification. We are going to be able to fully appreciate all the material wealth around us. Now that's in people, it's in everything around us in the material world. Oh, let's just see. Oh, now that deck was sort of split in two, and what do I see here? The Queen of Wands. So there is a graduation of sorts happening here. We go from the Princess to this very fiery Very confident queen. Interesting. Very interesting, gems. It's almost like a new beginning. I mean, it's like a new beginning, but there has had to be a period of ascertaining what's right for you, is what I'm getting from this. We just have a journey map card for lovely Geminis today to sum this reading up. I know I always talk of new cycles, but it is the nature of life. And as I said before, we will be 150% able to appreciate the bounty than what we have before. Are we seeing something we didn't see before? We get Fortuna, we get 2 cards coming out here. This is about time. What was I talking about? Saturnian time, the time it takes. See these beautiful pearls, how long it takes in that oyster. And where did it begin? With a little bit of grit, a bit of sand here. There's an internal luminescent aspect to this card where we see our own value, not just in the trials and tribulations that we've been through, not just in the material wealth that surrounds us, that we are now recognizing a little bit more fully. We're seeing things possibly we didn't see before. But there's an internal wealth in Fortuna. It is an internal box of treasure that you have. With this card, we have Lady Luck. Couldn't get any better than this. And Lady Luck sees you in a crowd, and when she puts her eyes upon you, go with your whims, with your fancies. Well, I feel like doing this today. I feel like doing that. Synchronicities occur all the time, but we don't necessarily see them. There's something in this reading that indicates or that speaks of not seeing certain things before, and now you're starting to see them. Lady Luck sees you doing your work, and once she spots you, sees you doing your work, you don't have to really worry for a while there, because she's going to do a lot of it for you. A little bit mysterious, gems, this week. A little bit mysterious, this reading. But it seems to be that the thing that holds this all together is you ascertaining the way that you negotiate your own power, your own truth, and those things that you want to achieve in this life, or be, how you want to express in this life, in this beautiful life. Wow, I've just got one card popping out, then we'll just get one more from Brian Froude's deck, the Fairy Oracle. Wow. Talk about two forces, two explosive forces of nature. Firstly, we get the Soulless card. This is fire. This is the embodiment of God force, whatever God means to you. This is life force at its most regenerative, at its most purifying, at its most active. It is solar force. With that, dear gems, God, it's pretty full on. With that, we get the Sage. We have a clear understanding Now, this sage has been around. He's been on the wheel of life over and over again and sees 360-degree turns, turning, if not beyond, with his, interestingly, his little pearly eyeball. Pearlies. We've got some jewels here, and you're seeing them. You're seeing your own, and you're seeing how you can project that and present that to the world, gems. This is big stuff. You don't have to say it. It's really big. That's big kahunas. Wow. One last card. One last card, Geminis. Oh my God. This is quite full on reading. Let's just get one more card for beautiful Geminis today. Wow. This is like total self-empowerment. One card for Gemini, please. I've got two coming out. Got two coming out here. It's beautiful, really. To begin with, when I said, with the Princess of Wands and with the Seven of Wands, and you following your own truth, and that's your truth. No one else has to have your truth. We're all on a different path. So we get you are conscious, trust your perspective, and allow others their own. We also get engage strategy with an open heart. I mean, this is really beautiful reading, gems. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful build up to this new moon in Aries, and it just feels like everything that we've learnt over the last period of time, we're putting it into action in a whole new way, in a whole new cycle. That's what it feels like. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time round, gems. Little pearls. Thank you.